Hey, welcome back to Sean's Irish Whiskey Shelf. Coming at you from the heart of the United States out here in the Midwest. And what I have for you today is a video that I've been promising to you for a little while, so figured it's time to do it. I'm going to be hopefully going to be picking up some Irish whiskey here this weekend. So didn't want to crack anything open just yet until I see what we're going to add to the shelf. What I had been promising you is how to decode the lot number information on the back of a bottle that comes out of the Midleton Distillery. Now, what you see on the screen here, what we're starting off with, are three of the Redbreast cask strength Irish whiskeys. And you'll notice that there's a date code that starts with an L, and all the L means is that's a lot number. Every bottle is going to start with an L. The next digit is going to tell you when this bottle was processed, when it was filled. So it's one digit, and you've got a 0 and a 1 and a 2 on these three bottles. So the 0 is 2020, the 1 is 2021, and the 2 is 2022. The next three digits will tell you what Julian date this bottle was filled. So remember, a Julian date is the number of a running number of days in the year. So January 1st is 001, January 2nd is 002, and so on. January has 31 days, so January 31st would be 031. February 1st would be 032. February 2nd, 033, and so on. So that is how they can put the date on there without having to put March 17th or September 9th or whatever. So again, with these three bottles, you'll notice that with the 2020, it's Julian date 203. With the 2021, it's Julian date 61. And with the 2022, it's Julian date 214. So now, with those first four digits, you can tell the year and the date that these bottles were filled. Now, the numbers following the Julian date, the single digit indicates a line number, and then the last digits after that indicate a batch number. So again, as we're looking at the 2020, it's on line 3 and batch 1308. With the 2021, you're looking at line 3 and batch 1142. And with the 2022, again, line 3 and batch 1566. Now, these date codes go on every bottle that Midleton makes, even Jameson. So it doesn't have to be their higher end stuff that gets these date codes. It's every single bottle. Take a look at the bottle of Jameson here next to my 2022 Redbreast cask strength. Again, we have the L for a lot code. There's a 1, so this bottle was filled in 2021, Julian date 139, and then a 1 and a 6. So I'm assuming that to mean line 1, batch 6. Now, it's very possible to find a Midleton bottle that does not have the date code on the label. Just means you have to look a little bit harder. In this case, you can see this bottle of Napogue Castle, 12-year-old single malt. The date code, or the lot code, I should say, is not on the label, but instead it's stamped into the bottle. I think one or two of my Redbreast bottles are the same way. It's kind of hard to see in the picture, but we'll step through it. Again, L with the lot. There's a 1 following that. So this bottle of 12-year-old was bottled in 2021. Then you have a 118 following that. So Julian date 118, line number 3, batch 1269. So that is what the lot code is for this. And in fact, on this one, they actually put the real date underneath it. This is April 28th, 2021, it looks like. So they actually did the math on that one for you, so you don't have to try to figure out what the Julian date is. Over here, now you can see we have a couple of bottles of Powers that I've pulled off, just for example's sake. The Powers Gold Label was bottled in 2020, Julian date 156, line number 3, and batch 1221. And then, of course, the Powers John's Lane, also bottled in 2020. Julian date is 350, so it's close to the end of the year. 15 days short. Does that make it December 16th, perhaps? Line number 3 and batch number 1710. And finally, looking at something a little bit older, we've got my bottles of Blender's Dog, Cooper's Crows, and Distiller's Safe. And you can see each of these lot numbers start with a 9. So these were bottled in 2019. You've got 025 for the Julian date on the Blender's Dog, January 25th. You've got 291 as the Julian date on the Cooper's Crows. And you've got 291 also on the Distiller's Safe. What's interesting about these two, take a look at the Cooper's Crows and the Distiller's Safe especially. Both of them were bottled on Julian date 291 in 2019. If you want to do the math real quick, that should be, if I did my math right, that should be October 18th of 2019. Now, both of them on the same day. The next digit on both of those is line 3. But then look at the 4-digit batch number after that. Batch 1683 for the Cooper's Crows and batch 1685 for the Distiller's Safe. The Cooper's Crows was bottled at 7 a.m. and the Distiller's Safe was bottled at 9:21. So they're cranking out some whiskey there on line 3. In a matter of 2 hours and 21 minutes, they've gone from batch 1683 to batch 1685. So definitely throwing out some Irish whiskey there. Now, I hope you have found this video to be somewhat helpful anyway, educational. It'll help you determine how old the whiskey is that's in your bottle, at least if it comes from Midleton Distillery. And remember, you're talking Redbreast, Jameson, the Spots, Midleton Very Rare, Pogue Castle, Method and Madness, Powers. Those are the big ones that come from Midleton. And by using this information, you can tell exactly how old your whiskey is that's in the bottle. So, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and until we meet again, I want you to be well and be safe. Sláinte. Bye now.